The group stared out at the Nightmare Realm. They had somehow traveled into what remained of this evil place, inside the mindscape of the Nightmare Queen, Fluttershy. Thanks to the protective magic of Velma, they'd somehow survived the Nightmare King's earlier attacks, but that magic was wearing thin now. At the center of the rolling hills of the Nightmare Realm stood a towering, castle-like tower, covered in creeping vines. It was surrounded by a thick wall made of black, twisted trees. The tower was made of the same black stone as everything else in the Nightmare Realm. The Nightmare King and Nightmare Tyrant stood beside each other, watching their army massed together in front of them.
"You did well, my loyal subject,"
the Nightmare Tyrant said.
"I sensed your presence when I slayed that brat, Lissa, and I knew it would bring the Excalibur. I even pushed Fluttershy to send her friends to help you."
"It worked out well."
The Nightmare King sneered as Nightmare Knights sprouted from the ground.
"We have a new army."
"Yes, my loyal subject,"
the Nightmare Tyrant replied.
"we have a new army. They are now the slaves of darkness, all in the name of nightmare."
Slaves?
Maleficent growled.
You call these creatures slaves?
"Yes, and we will call you slaves as well after you have surrendered,"
the Nightmare Tyrant said with a smirk.
You are a fool if you think you can stop us.
Maleficent said.
We may be in the Nightmare Realm, and you are the Nightmare Master, but there is no way you can defeat us.
I've held him at bay for as long as I could,
Fluttershy said.
but he's too powerful.
Don't worry, we'll get them.
Jolene said.
We'll get everyone.
The Nightmare King laughed.
"You can have the Excalibur, you fool. We have it on. What have you got?"
Nothing.
Maleficent said.
You hail yourself the Nightmare Tyrant, but you are nothing but a coward.
"I am not the Nightmare Tyrant.
The Nightmare King said, his eyes narrowing.
I am the Nightmare Master, and I'm not a coward."
Yes, you are.
Maleficent said, shaking her head. The Nightmare King sneered before turning and driving Excalibur into the heart of the Nightmare Tyrant. The Nightmare Tyrant's body exploded, and black, shadowy tentacles began to push outward, trying to grasp at the Nightmare Master.
"Yes!"
The Nightmare King cried. As the Nightmare Realm shook, the Nightmare Tyrant's power enveloped him, taking the form of black, tainted armor. The Nightmare Master's armor was tainted by the Nightmare Tyrant's dark magic, and it gave him the power to corrupt anything he touched.
"I am the Nightmare Master. The Nightmare King is dead.
The Nightmare Master cried.
Long live the Nightmare Master."
The Nightmare Master's armor crackled as he stepped forward. The Nightmare Knights raised their weapons, preparing to charge.
We can still get out of this.
Jolene said.
We can still get them all.
No,
Spike said.
we don't need to. We just need to stop him.
What are you talking about?
Jolene asked.
This place,
Spike said.
it's just a memory of what was. We can use that. We can get out of it. What do you mean?
Applejack asked.
What are you talking about, Spike?
I can't explain it to you. I just know we can get out of this. I know we can stop the Nightmare Master.
I am ready to beat him to a pulp.
Roxy said, cracking her knuckles.
Whatever you're talking about, I'm ready to do it.
You don't understand. It's not a question of stopping him.
Spike said.
We need to go through him. We need to go into his mind. And we need to end his reign of terror. We can't let him continue. It's evil.
Evil?
Jolene asked.
What are you talking about, Spike?
The Nightmare Realm is evil.
Spike said.
And the Nightmare Master is its ruler. We need to go in there. We need to go into his mind, and we need to stop him from being evil. We can't let him do this. We can't let him hurt people.
Hurt people?
Maleficent snarled.
You fool! You forgot who I am.
I haven't forgotten who you are, but you're not in control here.
Spike said.
That's right, I am.
Fluttershy said, stepping forward. She had come a long way from her quiet days in Ponyville. She'd been tortured, murdered, and made to carry the weight of nightmares on her shoulders. All because of the selfish actions of the man who stood before her.
I am. You're not in control of me or any pony else. I am in control of all of us. The Nightmare Realm has no master. We are its masters.
"No.
Said the Nightmare Master.
You're slayers."
Fluttershy stepped forward, and her eyes began to glow. She looked at the Nightmare Master.
No,
She said, her voice a low rumble.
you will be stopped.
The Nightmare Master shook his head, but he could not escape the Nightmare Realm. His eyes glowed red, and he began to shrink. The Nightmare Realm began to disappear, to be replaced by what used to be the human village.
"No.
The Nightmare Master shrieked.
I will have my vengeance."
You will have nothing.
Fluttershy said, raising her hoof. She pointed at the Nightmare Master, and his armor began to crumble.
What's happening?
Cammy asked.
This realm is within Fluttershy's mind.
Maleficent explained.
No matter how powerful the Nightmare Master is, he cannot affect her.
No, she cannot.
Jolene said.
We need to go in there, find his mind, and shut it down. We need to stop him from being in her head, and maybe we can get her to release us all.
You.
Said Roxy.
He can do this. Wait, what are you talking about?
Cammy asked.
We can't just walk into her head like it's the inside of her brain. How are we going to do this? Wait. Watch.
Maleficent said, holding up her hand. In an act of desperation, the Nightmare Master lunged forward with Excalibur. He struck at Fluttershy, who deflected the blow with a burst of pink lightning.
That's the power of love.
Spike said.
It's how she stopped Nightmare Chops. Don't know how she did it, but she was able to stop him. But she was,
Fluttershy raised her hoof, and a ray of light burst from it. The Nightmare Master recoiled in pain, dropping Excalibur. The Nightmare Realm began to crumble, cracks spreading through the ground like a spiderweb. The Nightmare Knights fell into the cracks, vanishing into a void.
She's destroying it.
The Nightmare Master cried.
I cannot get free. My nightmare realm is destroyed. I will push here.
I think not.
Fluttershy said. The Nightmare Master turned to face Fluttershy as she raised her hoof, pointing it at his forehead.
I am the Nightmare Master.
He hissed.
I am Nightmare Tyrant. I am Nightmare Emperor. I am the Nightmare Realm.
The Nightmare Master froze in place. A smile spread across Fluttershy's face.
You are not the Nightmare Realm.
She said sweetly.
There is no such thing.
The Nightmare Master's eyes widened in surprise.
The Nightmare Realm is a lie.
Fluttershy continued, smiling.
And you are just a man.
I am the Nightmare Emperor.
The Nightmare Master said.
I am the Nightmare Realm.
Fluttershy shook her head.
No,
She said.
you're not. I am.
Pink light burst from Fluttershy's hoof through the Nightmare Master. Pink light shone from his eyes and his mouth, and his body filled with love.
I am the Nightmare Realm.
She said, smiling. And in that moment, the Nightmare Master was no longer the Nightmare Tyrant, the Nightmare Emperor, or the Nightmare Realm. He was just Hugh.
Now,
He cried.
I am the Nightmare Realm. I'm Nightmare Emperor. You're slaves.
We're not.
Fluttershy said, smiling.
We're just friends.
She pulled Hugh in, hugging him. Tears welled up in his eyes.
You really did it, darling.
He said, smiling.
You really did.
Yeah,
She said, smiling.
we did.
The world around them faded away until they found themselves back in Castle Oblivion. Shadow Weaver and Lady Dimitrescu stood by. They had watched the Nightmare Master fade from existence. They watched as Fluttershy and Hugh embraced.
I don't know what you did, Spike,
Shadow Weaver said.
but I think this is finally over.
Well, we did shut it down for good.
Roxy said.
You did good, you too.
Maleficent said.
You showed that the Nightmare Realm is just an ideal told to terrorize us all. Later. I'm glad we could help.
Cammy said before pausing.
We did help, right?
Yeah,
Roxy said.
we did.
I think we need to stop meeting like this.
Cammy said, shaking her head.
Really, I do.
I think you're right.
Said Roxy.
I don't want to have a nightmare night, or a nightmare realm, or anything nightmare related.
How do you feel?
Alcina asked, approaching him and Fluttershy.
Well, I'm still a little tired.
He said before yawning.
And I've still got a bit of headache, but I'm fine, really.
You look exhausted.
I know.
He said.
I don't. Well, I did. It's a lot to take in.
You did good, kid.
Shadow Weaver said.
Really?
She patted Fluttershy on the head.
You did good, too.
She said, smiling.
Really?
I guess we're all free.
Roxy said.
I suppose we should go.
Here,
Cammy said.
I guess we should.
Roxy made to leave, but then froze.
Wait, what about the nightmare realm?
She said.
Is it really gone for good?
As long as there's fear in the hearts of mortals, it will still linger.
Alcina said.
It could come back stronger than ever. And say, but I think you did a good thing. There, for the first time, the Nightmare Realm was truly put to rest.
Roxy nodded.
I guess it's time to go home.
She said.
Are we going to just let him go free?
Applejack asked, pointing to Hugh.
He may not be a nightmare whatever anymore, but he still cause a lot of pain and suffering.
You're right.
Hugh said, standing up.
This wasn't an accident. My ambition angered led me down this path.
That's not how I see it.
Applejack said.
You got caught up in your own little world, and you cause a lot of people pain.
I'm sorry for that.
Hugh said.
So, just gonna let you go.
Lisa asked.
I suppose we'll have to find a way to make amends.
He said.
You don't have to do anything.
Fluttershy said.
Yes, I do.
Hugh said.
I can hide behind the Nightmare Tyrant's influence.
Well, you're still a free man.
Fluttershy said.
Go wherever you want.
I think I'll stay in Pineville.
Hugh said.
Wait, what?
She asked.
I destroyed it, so I should help rebuild it.
He explained.
They'll have me there.
Well, I guess I'll see you around then.
Fluttershy said.
You will.
And that's it then.
Applejack said, looking at the others.
I think so.
Jolene said, looking at the others.
Well, guess this is the end.
She said, nodding.
I guess it is.
The others nodded.
It's been an interesting ride.
Alcina said.
I guess so.
Roxy said.
I want to go home.
Jolene said.
Meow.
Roxy said, turning to leave.
Wait!
Jolene said, stopping Roxy before she left.
Thank you for everything you've done.
You're welcome.
Roxy said, blushing.
I know I let you down in the past, but I hope I've made it up to you. But you thought by thine,
Jolene took Roxy's hand in her own.
You have.
She said.
And then some.
Roxy smiled.
So, we're good.
Cammy asked, turning to the others.
Yeah, we are good.
Jolene said.
Yeah, we are.
Roxy agreed.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Roxy waved to the others as she left.
See you soon. See you.
Roxy and Jolene returned to the Emerald City, while Spike and Applejack took Hugh with them to Ponyville. Cammy waited until the Dawn Treader arrived so that she could be reunited with Skid and Pump.
So, I guess this is it.
She said.
I'm glad we got to spend this time together, you know. I wish we had more of it.
Yeah, me too.
Skid said.
Sorry we missed all the excitement.
Pump said.
Next time, I'm staying on board. Maybe we can go back to the old days.
Skid said, grinning.
You know, before the nightmare time.
Maybe we can.
Sandy joined back up with SpongeBob while Lisa asked if they could take her back to the Lost Realm so she could rejoin her family. Morbius, meanwhile, slipped away while nobody was looking. Fluttershy approached Maleficent with an offer.
Maleficent,
She said.
if you want to help repair this world, I will accept your help.
You would take my power.
The Green Fairy asked.
I'm afraid I don't have much of it left.
Well, you can still impart your wisdom.
She said.
Shadow Weaver and Alcinair both excel in help, but I can use all the old world knowledge I can get.
What do you mean?
I mean, I want you to tell me everything you know.
Everything.
Everything.
Moot.
Just try.
She said.
I suppose.
Maleficent began to tell Fluttershy everything she could remember about the old world. They sat together on a hill overlooking the sea, and, for a moment, the fairy felt an overwhelming sense of peace.
Everything is so different here.
She said.
I remember a time. The world was lush and beautiful. Now, it's barren and lifeless.
It's a harsh world we live in,
Fluttershy agreed.
but we don't have to like it. We can make it better.
You can't.
Maleficent said.
I can.
Fluttershy said, putting her hoof on Maleficent's hand.
With your help.
With my help.
Yes, will you help me?
I suppose.
Maleficent said.
But I'm afraid I must be selfish and ask you for your help first.
Of course.
Fluttershy said.
What do I do?
First,
Maleficent said.
you must find the Dreaming Princess.
Who?
The Dreaming Princess.
Maleficent said.
She holds the key to the Nightmare Realm.
And where do I find her?
In her dreams.
Maleficent said.
She was herself a dream dreamed by the Nightmare King and Queen. To keep her from fading away, I had to hide her within her own dreams.
How can I find her in her dreams?
You can't.
Maleficent said.
Because you had.
What do you mean? With the power of the Nightmare Queen, I should be able to enter anyone's dreams.
Because if you try to find the Dreaming Princess in her dream, you will send her straight into the Nightmare Realm. Should be destroyed. Only the key must be touched by a living creature.
But I'm a Pegasus.
Fluttershy said.
What am I supposed to do? Touch the key.
No!
Maleficent said.
Find a way to touch the key without setting her free.
I suppose that's impossible.
Yes,
Maleficent said.
it is.
Very well.
Fluttershy said.
What's the second thing?
Once you have found the Dreaming Princess, you must awaken her.
How do I do that?
You must give her the message that I have left for her.
What message?
You must tell her that she is loved. That I haven't forgotten about her.
But I don't know what that means.
Fluttershy said.
It sounds silly.
You must tell her,
Maleficent said.
or she will remain lost to this world and the Nightmare Realm will remain free.
I will try.
Fluttershy said.
And what's the third thing?
Once you awaken the Dreaming Princess, you must give her the Stone of Volcar.
The Stone of Volcar.
Yes! It is again the power to free all the Dreaming Princesses. When you touch the Stone of Volcar to the forehead of the Dreaming Princess, she will awaken.
And where am I supposed to find the Stone of Volcar?
There are many scattered about the world now.
Maleficent said.
It seems the Nightmare Tyrant was making copies for some unknown reason.
Does it matter which one I use?
It does. You'll need to find the one hidden inside a robot named Bender.
A robot?
Yes! It is the only bender in Ixens who has not yet been corrupted by the nightmare Tyrant, and thus will be most likely to awaken the dreaming princess. You will have to enter his mind to find the son of Volca.
I suppose that's impossible.
Fluttershy said.
But is there anything else you can tell me?
Only one thing.
Maleficent said.
This quest will kill you.
I suppose that's inevitable.
Fluttershy said.
But I suppose I don't have any choice in the matter.
None whatsoever.
So, am I ready to leave?
Yes.
Maleficent said, and the two friends stood up.
Now are you ready to begin?
I suppose, but I'm not sure I'm prepared for this.
Good.
Maleficent said.
Because I'm not prepared for this either. Now remember your promise to help me repair this world, for the sake of those who have suffered at my hand.
I will.
Fluttershy said.
I will try my best.
And so that ends our 4th season of Nightfall. I hope you all enjoyed the ride. The ending there, I don't know if I'd call it anticlimactic. It wasn't what I was expecting going in, but I kind of liked it though. The combined power of the Nightmare King and the Nightmare Tyrant might have been a big threat, but the greed of the Nightmare King caused him to turn on the Tyrant, absorb his power, and that in turn made both of them more vulnerable to Fluttershy, I guess. That's how I interpreted it. Anyway, I'll be in the next few weeks getting out the full season video where you can watch the whole season in one sitting, and the soundtrack like normal. I don't know for sure. I have started season 5, but I don't know for sure when that'll actually start coming out. It might be a little while. I am wanting to try another project. I've got something brewing that is like a different story, but still like an AI written story that I'm wanting to try. That might come out, the first part of that might come out before season 5 starts, but we will do season 5, and that is coming. And in the meantime, there'll be more. This Anime Doesn't Exist, if you're enjoying that series. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I hope I will see you all again for season 5 whenever I get around to releasing that. If you don't want to miss it, make sure you're subscribed. That way you'll hopefully see, like if you have the bell rung or whatever, you'll see the notification for it whenever that is. Oh, and I should have a new Nightfall as an 80s dark fantasy movie video out for this season sometime between now and when season 5 starts. So hopefully you'll look forward to that too. And if you happen to miss the previous episode, here's a little clip of what you missed. Lisa grabbed Sandy and lifted her into the air, holding her in the palm of her hand.
Lisa, stop this. Let her go.
Jolene cried. Lisa threw Sandy down to the ground where she smashed into the dirt.
Lisa, please stop this.
Sandy cried, crawling away from Lisa.
No, Lisa, don't.
Jolene cried.
Please, Lisa, don't.